Thanks very much. I get the two questions, so you might have to repeat the second one. As a technology company, we continuously think about ways to improve vertical farming systems. So every farm that we deploy is, an improvement on the next. For us, we think of a farm almost like a brain. If you have, the number of connections that you have in a brain really drives intelligence. And for us, in a vertical farming system, if we can connect as many of the components as possible and then turn that into data, we're able to improve the performance, the productivity, the allocative and technical efficiency of farms, and so on. In terms of the criticality of investing in R&D to support that, clearly critical. I think that's a simple yes. The question is, where does it come from? In different markets, you have very different approaches to, different priorities. So, in the UK, we're leaders in Innovate UK grant applications and have worked on things like alternative proteins and so on. But I think that obviously government should be doing a lot more. I've talked a lot about technology at the beginning of my answer, but there will always be an element that requires humans until maybe 2300 or whatever, when maybe robots take over. I think maintaining an R&D team, especially as a technology company like us, across a diverse set of specialities, is critical. For growers, I don't have much of an opinion. We started as growers, and obviously, the number of growers and scientists you have will very much depend on your spend and the type of the amount of growing space. But I still think it's critical to have those kind of roles in. And what was the second question?
The second one was, what areas in particular do you think is where we need to explore further in R&D, in particular for the Middle East? And of course, I know you have a global coverage of your solutions and you're exposed to that, but in the Middle East, what do you think are areas which require further research?
Protein-rich crops. The 6 main crops that I mentioned earlier that we, humans get 75% of our energy from, that are so far out of reach at present for vertical farms. We really need to be investing more in that because before we know it, I'm very pessimistic, truly, about us hitting targets around climate change. I think that there's not enough of a concerted effort between different countries across the world, and I'm not just talking about MENA, I'm talking about the China dynamic and Russia and USA and so on. People have different priorities and they will look after themselves. I think focusing on protein-rich crops and even things that we know are not even close to price parity yet should have some expenditure, some degree of expenditure and focus.
All right, perfect. No, thank you for that, James.